Liv, and welcome back to another Dear Liv. Here I ask you to send in your Dear Liv letters by heading over to my blog, liveinlovewithyou.com, and clicking the Dear Liv button if you need motivation, inspiration, advice, or just someone to vent to. This is solely to help you on your Live in Love with You self-love journeys. So without further ado, let's get started. Dear Liv, I've had a family friend expose himself and touch me when I was only 15. He was in his 50s and has had a negative impact on me ever since. I mainly regret not telling anyone until it was too late and not reporting it, and it's taken a big toll on my life mentally and emotionally. I'm now engaged to be married next year. My fiance and I have been together for 4 years. It's taken a toll on my intimate life. I just feel when the big day comes, whether before or after my wedding day, I just won't be able to give him the purest part of me. So my question to you is, how do you forgive someone who's taken a lot of control over your life? What are some things you do to forgive? And how do you know when you've truly forgiven someone? Dear love, it's not your fault. There's nothing you did, could have done, thought you did to deserve this. What happened to you was not your wrongdoing, it was his. And the only regret that you should have is that you didn't realize that sooner. Within this situation, I see a huge crime and I see a robber and a victim. This robber has definitely taken something very important away from little girls. He's taking away their innocence. He's taken away their view on the world, their view on men, and their view on themselves. But what he did not take away from you, however, is your purity. You are not now tainted, disgusting, or rotten because of what he did to you. What he did to you was tainted, disgusting, and rotten, but you are not what he has done to you. You are not your past. Thank God we do not look like what we have gone through. He robbed you of that, but that does not mean that you were not acceptable of love, that you are not supposed to be loved, you're not supposed to be touched or been intimate with in the right way. That is not the case. I think it's important for you to speak to your significant other about what's happened, and if not speak to him, then speak to your family so that everyone can be aware of this, so that you're not holding this burden by yourself. The thing that sucks about women is that we have this really bad habit of holding all the burden, of carrying all the bags, holding all of the baggage, but what we've learned is that that is just going to slow you down. It's not going to make you evolve into that person who you want to be. There's no room for development when you're holding on to so much bags and so much luggage, especially when you have someone who's there for you, who wants to help you with your luggage. If you have someone that wants to hold that bag with you, help you pack, help you unpack, help you repack again, and be there for you, then don't stop that person from being there for you. I see a victim, and I'm really hoping that this victim is not you, because the person who I want you to be is the survivor. Victims have pity and low self-worth, confusion, and guilt. Survivors, they have strength, power, and knowledge, and that's the person who I want you to be. I no longer want you to be that victim. I want you to be the survivor. Don't surrender to your situation. Don't allow yourself to be a victim to your past any longer. And the victim that I'm looking at is someone who is not allowing themselves to be wholeheartedly and whole-centered into their relationship, into their fiance, and into their new marriage that's about to flourish, because they're holding on to baggage that's happened a long time ago, because they won't allow anyone else to hold their baggage with them. And they're allowing only themselves to hold that burden. Well, in fact, it is not only your burden to carry. It is that individual who's done it to you burden. It is everyone's burden, and everyone should feel responsible for that burden. The best way to distribute this baggage is through forgiveness. And in order to get to forgiveness, the first thing that we need to get to is being self-aware. Being self-aware, having a conversation with yourself to really understand what exactly happened to you, who did it, and how did they do it. But most importantly, how did it make you feel? And by asking yourself these questions and having this conversation with yourself, this then leads you to self-compassion, which leads you to healing, to not blame yourself for everything that happened, and to let go of that burden on you and put the burden back on them. And this self-compassion gives you more knowledge and more power into yourself, but you start to really be with yourself. You start to heal yourself. You start to take care of yourself. This now gives you this new power and this new knowledge that now brings you to strength. And when you have this strength, you now have the power, you have the knowledge to understand that this is not your fault, and the first person who you forgive is yourself. And you forgive yourself for treating yourself the way that you did. You forgive yourself for blaming yourself all of these years. You forgive yourself for having all this guilt and holding all this burden and stopping yourself from having so many amazing relationships. And the last person who you forgive is the actual individual who done it. You would know when you have fully forgiven this person, when you have wholeheartedly forgiven this person, when you think about the situation and you are no longer upset at yourself, and you are no longer upset at the individual, and you begin to actually feel sorry for this individual. individual. You maybe even find yourself praying for this individual because you now realize that this person was so wounded, so heavily hurt and so heavily wounded that they decided to hurt you. And lastly, but most importantly, forgiveness is a process. Finding relief in your own pain is a process, but trust me, it is a beautiful process. Love, live. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't be shy to share it with anyone who might need to hear this message. Be sure to click the link up here and down below to send me your Dear Liv letter. Thank you so much for watching, and never forget to live and love with you.